Hello, hello. I am back to help you do this thing called life. So, yeah, I've been praying for y'all. Hope you're praying for me too. And over the course of this week, over the last 2 weeks, we talked about taking the leap, that leap of faith. Um, we talked about fear and conquering the fears that would keep us from leaping, moving into that thing that we know is outside of ourselves. And then more recently, we talked about being still, being still. And last night, uh, I heard the Lord saying, like, that it wasn't over. This is not the end. Well, today, during my meditation, I just started kind of, I guess, all those things were coming back to me. And I started thinking about what are reasons that we're not still. Why is it sometimes so hard for us to be still? And of course, I'm not just talking about movement physically, but our minds just all over the place, or our spirits unsettled. And when I started thinking about what would cause us to not be still, I thought about a lack of trust. I believe it's the same thing that allows fear to overtake us or stop us when we know that it's something that God has spoken to us. And I do. I believe that it is a lack of trust that leads us to try to take matters into our own hands, or that causes us to be so fretful, so discontent, so fearful. Is I feel like it's a sign that we don't trust God in those particular areas, and those when in regards to those particular things. And I believe that we have to begin to build our trust in those areas. And I believe that we can build trust by looking back over our lives. Look at his track record regarding us. Look at all the things that he's done, exceedingly abundantly above what we asked him. Look at how he's kept us. He is trustworthy. God is trustworthy. And we have to put into practice trusting him. We have to get in our word and be reassured of who God is and who God is to us. Um, the scripture comes to mind, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Um, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. So there is several things in there that it would take us a minute to unpack. But I would like for you to go just look at the scripture for yourself. Look at it in different translations. But we got to trust him with all our heart. And so, just like I said earlier, sometimes we may be able to trust him in one area, but there's a lack of trust in another. Um, and as I think about it, the whole be still thing and the trust thing, it reminds me, and I don't know if I said this before or not, but it reminds me of how when the man wanted his son to be healed, and he talked to Jesus, and Jesus, was like, "Do you believe?" And he said, "Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief." And I feel like that's kind of where we are. Lord, I trust you. Help me in those areas where I don't trust you. And when we ask God to help us, he is faithful. He is faithful to help us. So, y'all, let's just continue to work on our trust walk. Oh, and I forgot. Yeah, I've been in some trust walks before. in the natural. Maybe we'll talk about that one day. But yeah, this trust walk with God, He has proven that He'll catch us every time. Well, y'all, this has been One Moment with Marcy. I'll be back tomorrow with another moment of momentum producing inspiration. Until then, stay encouraged. And remember, you got to flutter before you can fly. But flying is in your future. I love y'all.